Welcome to the Temple of Flame. And today, faithful acolytes, we take a look at these. Today's product comes courtesy of Roger Damps of Burn Your Tongue, the favorite emporium for all things delectably hot, with actual real live physical locations along the Wasatch Front in Utah. If you're like me, when you're looking for a sauce slinger, you want selection. And with well over 800 varieties, you're sure to find it at Burn Your Tongue. You can also check out Burn Your Tongue on Facebook and Instagram, as well as Burn Your Tongue online. Roger is one of the true aces in the chili head world, and we raise our flame in salute. Now, let us return to the ceremony. And what these are from Lisa's Gourmet Hot Sauce, it is the piece of Habanero Heaven. And we've got the halo, we've got the angel wings, and over here we've got bat wings and horns for the extra hot habanero. They give this 5 stars. 5 flames. This one gets 3. Well, so this is dedicated to someone's mother, and proceeds, this fella here, Cal McCann, I believe. Proceeds go to diabetes research, which is a good cause. That is what my grandfather passed away from, so definitely fully support that. We've got here, this is the piece of habanero heaven. We've got habanero, orange bell pepper, white vinegar, sugar, shredded carrots, salt, and xanthan gum. And you can see here, can I fit these both on? Probably not, maybe. So we've got almost identical, okay, it's not legible. Habanero, yellow bell pepper, white vinegar, shredded carrots, sugar, salt, and xanthan gum. So this one has yellow bell peppers in there because, of course, the coloration. This one they went with, hey, interesting. So we have a level stripe here. We don't here, huh? This is a much brighter orange, as you can see here. And, but that's the main difference. And, you know, in terms of flavor, the more color, the more you get towards red, the more sweetness, the more flavor to the pepper. So it kind of goes green, as far as bells, green, yellow, orange, and then red as the sweetest and the most flavor. So that's, I mean, they're really just going for color here. So we're going to start with the piece of habanero heaven here. And you can see it is this very beautiful, vibrant orange color. Nice, just really, this one is super pretty. I like this one quite a lot. So this one was a little bit low in the bottle. Actually, that's why it's lower down here. And this one had, it turned slightly. There was some oxidation in this one when I got it, which is always unfortunate because I'm not keeping that around. I always toss that. So this one you can see definitely a lot paler of a color. So here they are side by side. See the much, much brighter orange. Here with a piece of habanero heaven, and over here on the extra hot habanero, we've got a much lighter tone of orange. It's not Not quite too yellow. I'd say this is more of a light orange, and this is more of like an orange. But you can see them there side by side with the color difference. So we're going to start with the lesser heat of the two, the piece of Habanero Heaven. And let's get into it. What I really like about this one is, and these are both going to be orange because of this factor, but the carrots, despite habanero being the first ingredient, you really get a sense of the carrots and the sugar. This is, I initially tried these out on Mexican style food, which is, I mean, habanero, right? And it is way too sweet for that. These are very nice sweet hots that are just not fruit based. Excellent. Both of them are excellent. This one, I think, is especially well done. This piece of habanero Heaven, very, very delightful sauce. I really enjoyed that one more so than this one. This one is very forward on the habanero flavor. So habanero, I'd say this is about twice as hot as this one. This one I give a 1. This one maybe a 1.5 to a 2. Certainly not a 5. Or a 10, I guess. On this scale, it'd be a 10 on my scale. This one has got a lot more of the habanero notes, which just this is such a beautiful balance here of flavors with the orange bell and the habanero and the carrots. And this one just doesn't have that. Just, I mean, it's obviously meant to be hotter. The habaneros are a lot more forward in the mix on this one. Still sweet. It's just a lot punchier. But so what's interesting about these is you can take this one and say this is a really well-crafted, very nicely rounded sauce. And then you can kind of get an example of the concept of as you drive the heat higher, you tend to get more bitterness and you start to move away from some of those flavor notes. And this is a super good example of that. Okay, so I think what we will do here is let's bring on the food. All right, so here's kind of the plan. We got 3 of these chicken tendies here. And this is just what I happen to have. I think you could use this actually quite a few different foods and have it be pretty good. The nice thing about sweet hots is this one in particular, I think you could put almost anywhere and it would be very, very tasty. This one, obviously, you're going to want something that'll kind of go with the increased focus on the habaneros. But what we're going to do is, all right, so we're going to do this one with the extra hot. And we'll do this one with the habanero Heaven. I am flying through these bottles. I mean, they're very nice sauces. This one is over half. Actually, this one's about halfway. This is probably a little bit under halfway. Very, very super warm flavored sauces. They're really accessible. I don't know how available they are. I found these on, well, if you watch the beginning of the video, you already know, but these were at, I came across this company from the shelves of Roger Burn Your Tongues. This one, I feel like you could put it, there's not a lot of sauces that I feel will go well with vegetables, like a vegetable dish. This one I really think would. I really like just so much what they've done with the carrots in this one. It was a big thing, a big trend years ago now, but we had the garlic habanero phase, we had the carrot habanero phase, and the idea was that the idea was to use carrots as a sweetener. But of course, if you've eaten carrots, you know that it takes quite a lot of them to get any kind of sweetness at all out of them. And it's not a sweetness that's obvious like fruit. So what we're going to do with this last one is I'm actually going to pair these together because the flavor I like way better on this one. But admittedly, the heat is very minimal. This one, the heat is far more prominent, but habanero is not a flavor I've ever particularly loved. And whether that far forward in the mix, it definitely I have a very strong preference as to which I like better. This is one I would. There's a good chance I would actually pick up more of this. Simply because I would love to keep testing it. This one, I feel like it suffers in comparison. It is by no means a bad sauce. By no means. It just has this just really, really wonderful tasting line of companion, It's by no means an abrasive sauce. It has a good sweetness all its own. It definitely there is maybe that's where the orange bells play more into this one. And the yellows just don't deliver that kind of rounding, but it's not to say there's none there. There is still some of the characteristics I love so much here. It does still exist there. It is, and again, I mean, if I compare this to other habanero sauces, certainly this would be a strong competitor. It's just this particular one is it's one of those rare sauces that they get rarer and rarer as I go along because I've done so many now at this point. Having done hundreds of sauces, it makes me really happy when something comes along and makes me go, oh, that's special. That's a special sauce. This one does, this one not so much. And that's really what it comes down to. Not so much this one being bad or by no means bad. Just this one really standing alone in a lot of respects. Definitely this excellent concoction that they've come up with here. All right. We're going to start with this one as the base. And again, like I said, there's just precious little heat to this one. Even this one isn't. It is by no means what I would consider blazing. Let's see if we can add it just a little to top it off. See if we can push the heat up. You know, kind of despite this one starting off with me having to off pour a little bit of it just because I don't like to eat oxidized sauce. This one is well caught up. Just a really marvelous sauce, really spectacular. So this definitely, I can see where you might be a bit disappointed in the lower heat of this. Adding this one to that fixes it. And we still get a lot of the excellent flavor. No. This one could go a little bit hotter. But it is really, really good. I'm not going to ascribe to it near magical qualities. It's not quite to that extent. But I really... I like to be blown away by sauces. Like I said, it's really rare for me these days. This one did. There may be other sauces too from this company. I am going to have to do some digging and check into those, see what might be out there. One of them I thought might have been a chipotle sauce. A lot of those lower heat tier sauces I have in mind to do at some point, but the higher priority is definitely going to be the higher heat ones. Okay, well, all said and done, of the 3 strips I had, this solo, and that last one with those in combination, easily the runaway winner was this one by itself. It just really is it's just a really well done sauce. It's just delicious. And I've always said that I'm a foodie first and a chili head second. And this one really speaks to the foodie in me. Heat is very, very, very minimal. If I would have just had this by itself without having this as a comparison, I mean, my view is really favorable of this one. I do like this sauce. I just don't like it as much, but I do like it. And I don't mean that it suffers in comparison. It's fine in its own right, but this is just really wonderful. This one I'm super, super impressed by. I really, if you look through a lot of the reviews, I really do admire when somebody comes up with something that is just so far removed from a lot of the other stuff that's out there. Across the reviews on the blog, and I think I graphed it out one year, I can't remember. I should probably do it again at some point, but so I've got a much better data pool now. But I think I graphed it out, and it was basically a more or less your standard bell curve. I mean, it's very, very close to that. It might have been skewed a little bit more heavily towards the higher numbers, but over time, that has kind of tapered down. In fact, the median point right now, across all the reviews as I film this, is like 4.65. So it's almost exactly kind of where you'd expect it, between 4 to 6 somewhere, just based on the factors, and then the final score based on a division of the factors by the categories. And I think most of the sauces kind of fall within that, that sort of solid to slightly better than solid. Again, I'm keying this to my preferences. I'm not taking every single thing that comes out and just doing a review on it. I try to curate it a little bit to my specific taste and my palate. And even with that in mind, it's still, as stuff wears on, just kind of the way it goes. But so I like to celebrate when something comes out that just kind of makes me go, wow, which this one did. So again, very, very solid sauce here, though. These are both excellent. You can't go really wrong with either one of them. And if you aren't really that keen on flavor combinations as I am, you might have a read that goes the other way. I mean, that's the beauty of doing all this, is kind of comparing and contrasting and comparing notes and so on. But definitely, if you can track down one or both of these sauces, strongly encourage you to do so. Just really, really excellent work here. Where's this out of? Do we have... okay. I don't see a QR code here. And the creator and... oh, interesting. So nutritional facts are actually on this one, but not on this one. This one must have been kind of a earlier label. Let's see. Provo, Utah. Wow. Provo, if you're not familiar, is the home of BYU. So not necessarily what you'd expect to be a wild, thriving hotspot, but definitely they've got at least a really strong sauce making entity down there. So I don't know how ubiquitous it is from there, but definitely this is one to keep your eye on, and we'll just leave it there. So that was the Lisa's. Forgot the name already. Piece of Habanero Heaven, and the extra hot Habanero hot sauce. Says. Now go forth in peace to serve the flame.